Good morning, everybody. And today we're going to be talking about comic books. Now, here's some things that people need to be aware of. When it comes to comic books, it's all about condition. Let me show you some information we have. This right here is not in the best of shape, but it's 10 cents. Colors are good. And very good. And this is in good condition. And the reason why I say this is in good condition is because you gotta keep your comic books in bags. The reason why I say that because rain, water is the worst enemy. So is tape, moisture, but you can take it out of your bag anytime you want, but I recommend you keep this in bags because once it rains, the water gets on it and it's totally damaged it. Trust me. I did that once. This is my story. I had a bunch of comics and what happened was that the pipe leaked and it got all over my collectibles and mold grew on the carpet and it just got my comic books wet. So if you're going to store them in your closet, make sure there's no pipes behind the wall. No pipes above or behind, because if that pipe leaks, it can damage your comic books and they'll be completely useless. But if you have them on a shelf like I do, that's good news. You can have them in your closet, but don't have them where there's pipes. A broken pipe, if it leaks, if the wall's sealed, that's good, but the water can still get inside your wall and drip down. So you gotta be careful what you do with your comic books. Because comic books, they can get damaged by water. That is the first tip I want to give you. Now if you want to keep them on a shelf, let me show you what kind of shelf I have. So this is a shelf. See this? If you keep your comic books on a shelf, that way you'll know that this is the grade, the good grade stuff and the low grade. And this is where I have the packs comic books. So this is what you need right here. And you want to keep these right here are also good, but these are sealed. And this is old, and these are your cards. You can keep your cards in. And this are your books. You want to keep these books in good condition as well. And these down here are also books. So you want to keep these as an investment. And this is plates. You want to keep those in good condition. You don't have to, but if you want to. And these are books. You want to keep those out away from water. Especially when it comes to vintage books. And especially this. These are vintage. And you want to keep these away from water. Very important. Now let me talk about why you should keep comic books away from water. Because like I said on the video, back then when vintage comics was around, it's like modern day magazines. You just throw them away. But once the Silver Age comics have come and gone, they're more money. And still they absorb water. Like comic books, like Sergeant Fury. That's a good comic. It's probably a 8.5 grade, so I can probably sell it for $2,900. But this right here, it's probably been there, but it's got some water damage. It's still worth $19,000, but I can probably get at least $2,900 for it, give or take. And then this one right here, see this? Is a 7.5, good condition, great corners, great sharp ends. That price is at $4,200. And then once you get down to your comics, you want to make sure that you look at the cover, because condition is everything. Like this, for example. See this? This is not too bad. The cover's okay, but the condition is everything. Now this might be a 6.0 or 6.5, 200 or 350. I could probably sell it for $65 or 100, give or take. But you want to make sure your comic books are protected. Now you want to make sure is that when you buy your comics, you want to keep them in boards and bags. Like some of these bags have these little things right here, and you can seal it. And it protects your comic books. It protects them. You need to protect your comic books. Whatever you do, don't carry them out you can carry them out when it's raining, but keep them in a bag. Because rain, if it rains on them, it ruins the value. Believe me, I know. I collected comic books, and let me tell you, never get water on your comic books, because it damaged most of my comic books. It got the box dirty. It's disgusting, and it damaged my big books. So those books I got rid of because one, they get dirt on there and they're completely useless. So I got rid of them because they're damaged. That's why it's important for you to keep water off your comic books. Very important. I know. I collected comic books in 2011, 2012, 2013, and then I stopped there. Then I go back to collecting I still have them in 2014. I back to collecting in 2015, 2016. And I still got comics, and especially with vintage books too. That qualifies with vintage books. You have to keep water away from those things, because if you damage them, they're completely useless. So that's all we're going to talk about right now. I got to get going. So hope you use my tips on how to protect your comic books from water damage, sunlight, moisture, and keep your comic books in bags. Hasta luego.